counting down to the opening of the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, remotely from Dublin, of all places. They're also counting down here to Ireland's formal exit from the IMF EU bailout programme they unwillingly joined 3 years ago.
Welcome to Dublin, capital of Ireland. Welcome to Ireland, the new capital of the digital world.
Tech is a vital part of the Irish economy, accounting for less than a tenth of the jobs, but 40% of the country's exports. When the Celtic Tiger collapsed, so did the retail and construction sectors, but the major dot-coms stayed. Tech giants like Facebook, Google and Twitter have their European headquarters here in Ireland. Of course they're here for the low tax rate, but they're also here for the talent. The challenge is keeping that talent in this country and not emigrating. And with emigration running at a jaw-dropping 1,000 young and mostly educated people every week, the long-term damage could be huge.
Irish people really have never had a huge amount of faith in their country or in the British Empire, which ruled them before that. So how do you respond to hard times? You respond by going, by getting out of the place and by trying to survive on an individual basis.
Though she'd like to, Mandy can't emigrate until her daughters have finished university. She's a senior theatre nurse but describes herself as working poor. Her costs of living have risen while her pay has been slashed by a quarter.
We shop in Aldi and Lidl and a little bit combined with Dunn's. We don't shop in Super Quinn. We don't go to the cinema anymore. And healthcare for us has been a biggie because we've had to drop the private cover.
And when was the last time you had a holiday?
2 years ago.
So how has the crisis affected Irish people famed for their fighting spirit? One world-famous Irish boxer thinks the ostentatious consumption of the Celtic Tiger hid some of the country's better attributes.
My sister works in County Louth with the government down there, and she said in particular that there's a great sort of resurgence of community spirit, and a lot of people are volunteering again and helping older people and creating opportunities for older people to come and work with intergenerational stuff, and a lot more people helping out in charities. So it's very apparent that community, the cohesiveness within community is much better than it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Ireland still has very high unemployment and the highest levels of personal and government debt in Europe. But there's a growing sense that the worst may now be over and that the 5-year-long depression is lifting. Joe Lynham, BBC News, Dublin.